Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new SEGA News Bits. I'm your host, George. With me is Barry.
Sorry, I just woke up. What are we talking about?
Well, stop dreaming because we're talking about the NiGHTS anniversary, which turns 20 years old. Am I 20? Am I right? No, I'm right.
You're right.
So, NiGHTS, right? It was a SEGA Saturn Sonic the Hedgehog mascot. It's very interesting, SEGA really did take off with Sonic the Hedgehog and on the Sega Genesis, and then they try to reinvent the wheel and try to make a whole new mascot, which I think this is something that Sega tried, Sonic Team tried a lot after the Genesis, was dead. They try to always do something new, which I don't blame them for it, and they finally came back to Sonic and Sonic Adventure. We had Sonic Nights into Dreams on the Sega Saturn. What was your thoughts on this, Barry?
Nights into Dreams. I first played this at I think a JCPenney or a Macy's at the Mall of America kiosk, and I don't think I played it again until 1999, maybe. It was a very strange game. I knew it was from Sonic Team just because they had been releasing comic books and news stories, and you saw the logo, but I didn't really know what to expect. I played a little bit of it. It's I don't know. I don't feel like it's one of those games that you can just jump in and play.
It's because they don't really explain anything in this game for you. They don't explain how the game works. They don't explain how they don't really explain that it's not a racing game. You're not supposed to get to the goal as fast as possible.
Yeah,
it's about collecting as many orbs or whatever the things are called, and then going around and trying to get to the exit out of your dream in the last second. So it's kind of like you're sleeping as much as possible, basically.
Yeah, looking back, it really was like training for eBay auctions, because you have to go around and you gotta go, oh no wait, don't place your bid yet, and then you're like 3, 2, all right, place your bid, and then you go into the you go into the box, and then you're like, yeah, I had the least amount of time, but I had the most amount of points. It was like golfing, maybe, how you have to go in reverse. People go, oh, what's your score? But looking back, I wish I knew how the game was played, because I don't think I properly played this game until maybe about 5 years ago whenever that remake came out.
And I was gonna say, this game is very interesting because it's very different from Sonic. Sonic was this whole oh, I'm blue, and very oh no attitude, and I think NiGHTS is more weird. He doesn't have a sex first of all, so it's kind of really strange. And he's a purple Jester with really tight pants, very strange, and it's pink and purple and very hue, that color hue, it's just very strange. And then talking about sleeping, and it's very different from what they did with Sonic the Hedgehog, so I can see where they were going with this one. I like the idea. I like just flying around the world. I thought that the graphics were really done well, because the Sega Saturn didn't have that many 3D games released in the West, and this is one of the better ones, I feel.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. It may not have become the Saturn mascot or a flagship franchise or anything like that, but it's a fantastic game. It's just it's unlike any game you've ever played. It has aspects of arcade gameplay, but it also has this kind of more you explore, and you can leave the level and walk around as a child, but you shouldn't be. That whole aspect was very bizarre too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty weird. I heard that they tried to do platforming levels and they didn't have time, but I think that's probably better, because when you played as the kid, it wasn't the best controls in the world. No. I'm glad that they never got around to doing that, which they did in the later game, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But the game had a great soundtrack. It was some cheesy vocal song people feel that are cheesy nowadays, but at the time I really liked them, Dream Delight or whatever that one's called.
Yeah, it's a great Samba de Amigo track.
Samba de Amigo, another Sonic Team game where they try to go different.
Yeah.
But I like that they did this. They could have easily just made hey man, Sonic's sleeping and he's flying around, and then just make it a Sonic game, and probably would have sold 10 times more. I'm glad that they always try to do something different, and that was kind of the spirit of Sega when they were in the console.
Absolutely. It also is worth noting Christmas Nights. That was I was gonna say, this is one of the first expansion packs that I would on console, because it was technically the same game but a little different, and just released for Christmas for free. But it was a very interesting thing they did with Christmas Nights. Yeah, and it used your save data, so really it was almost like a disc 2 for me, just because you would do things in nights, but it would affect Christmas Nights. It was I think I gave it a perfect score. I actually reviewed it for the site once, but Nights into Dreams, Christmas Nights, very underrated, very strange games for their time, and I think they're still strange to this day, but that's why we love them. But how about that sequel, eh?
NiGHTS has a really strong fan base, and I kind of don't blame them. I mean, the games are really fun, probably the best the Sega Saturn have to offer. So I could see why it would have a rabid fan base. So that the fans kind of demanded a sequel, and in 2007, Sonic Team decided to give them a sequel. But the issue was during 2007, Sonic Team was having a few issues with their Sonic games. So let's not expect the best game out of them. And well, they delivered for sure. On the Wii, they did Journey of Dreams, and man, this game is something else. That's for sure. They added talking, over-explaining, which is very fantastic, I guess. This is totally the opposite of what the first one was, which they just dropped you into a dream world, had a cutscene of kids sleeping.
Yeah.
The controls weren't as tight as the original, and they had a platform. It was very rushed. But what's your thoughts on this one?
Knight's Journey of Dreams, it's a very forgettable game. Like you said, they over-explain things. Now, I know I said Nights into Dreams didn't explain enough, but I think that was part of its charm. You learned how to play the game, but this one, it was like, okay, you just collected 6 orbs. Now do this thing. Great. Now push this button. Oh, am I doing it right? Yeah, you're doing it right, Knights. Great. Keep playing.
Yes.
The music was great, I thought, but it tried to do a lot of things too that the original couldn't do, like the platforming with the kids, which was forgettable. There was that online mode. Do you remember that, where you like had your own little like personal dream room or whatever?
Yeah, I never used it, but yeah.
Yeah, and I've tried to do it since then, and since no one's playing it, it doesn't do a damn thing now. It's like, I don't even know if you can call up a friend and be like, let's have some dream room time. Just it's such a forgettable game. It's not awful. It's just.
I mean, it was better than Sonic 06, but like at this point, like I said, Sonic Team shouldn't have done this game. I think they should have waited, maybe on a console that wasn't the Wii. I think the Wii was the wrong choice for this one.
Yeah, and we'll get into Knight's his later appearances in games, but it really bugs me that Knight's Journey of Dreams, the character designs, have since become what Sonic Team wants everyone to use. Like, I feel like they forced All-Stars Racing Transform to use the Journey of Dreams designs, which is a real shame because I think they're kind of ugly.
Well, I was going to finish it up by saying that this game didn't sell very well, and now it kind of killed the franchise. So we're probably not going to be getting another Knights game anytime soon, but doesn't mean that we didn't get other things. Like, let's talk about he cameoed in all the All-Star games, including the camera one the Sonic Team made, tennis, racing, and then Racing Transform. He also got a remake of Knight back in 2008, I'm assuming, like a year after.
On the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, on the PlayStation 2 first came out, and then they brought it over here digitally.
Yeah. So I mean, if you haven't played Nights into Dreams, the original, it's very easy to find. It's just about everywhere now. And to be honest, the character has gotten a lot of play. You mentioned those spin-offs. He was also in Sonic Adventure as a pinball table, Sonic Adventure 2 as a background decoration, Sonic Pinball Party, and he had cameos in Burning Rangers. So they haven't forgotten about Knights. I just think it's one of those things where it's like you have your one great game, and then you put the franchise to rest and just celebrate the character like they've been doing. Because, what are you going to do? Make more Nights into Dreams levels? You can't really reinvent the gameplay, I don't think. It's perfect as is. Yeah,
so let us know what you guys think about the Knights franchise, and do you think that it should be even as cameos, or does it deserve another third entry? Let us know in the comments below.
If you'd like more SEGA news, check us out at segabits.com. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our social networks.